Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Timberborn Z, where things are moving along. Power's moving, beavers are moving, they're grooving, they're enjoying the skylines. Not the city skylines, because the city's down here. It's not much of a skyline, it's more of a, I don't know, what would you call that? A valley line? I don't know. Oh, it's still cool. Things are moving. We got storage galore, moving and grooving, so that's fantastic. We probably want to expand some production lines for some of these things, like grilled chestnuts, which means we probably want to increase our grilled chestnut production as a whole, which means maybe, I don't know, getting over here, which is something that I had an idea about doing. Blasting this out and then making a nice piece of real estate to make glorious chestnuts and various other sundries and desired things up there. I need to fix this and figure out why we're getting poop water in here at some point. I don't know why that's happening, but alas, it is, which is not what I want, and I want to be able to use this for something. I still haven't quite figured out what I want to use it for yet. Like, that's a good chunk of water right there. It's going underutilized. And I do want to get over here. I want to finish the rest of this build, which would give us a nice plot of land to work on to provide us with a nice piece of real estate for things like extract production, refinery stuff, which means storage for refinery stuff over here. And all of that bad Johnny, which should not take too long. We should have the materials on board ready to rock and roll to finish all of that up, and that should be nice and Gucci. So we're going to finish this. We're probably going to come over here, figure out or finagle a way to that via probably another tube-way or another tunnel zip line, because those are fun, those are exciting, and you know that some of you seem to like that, so we're gonna keep doing that. I like it a lot too, so might as well take advantage of it while we can, and just need to figure out where we're going to actually do that from, and all that or all of that, which probably means getting here somehow, blasting this out, digging. Well, we can't really dig diagonally and have a zip line running through there unless we do like a couple wide little zigzags through there, which wouldn't be that hard. And honestly, punching through this right here, not really what's needed. I don't know. Or we cut through underneath here, but I think the problem with cutting through that is that we can't build through. It's one of the annoying things with all of that. So maybe we'll come in here and build some sort of system right now, and then punch through on this side, and then have an outlet post right here that fields that goes to the thing. It goes to one of our zipline stations right here. So that'll be something that we can work on. We can actually put in a couple of our sluice gates right here. Come over here, backfill or block this out right here. Blast this down, maybe blast all of this down so it's all on the same level. And then even blast this down so it's still even more all on the same level. Or fill this in and then cover it up. But I need the water to be able to go up and around so we don't have to force the irrigation and all of that fun jazz. Now, what was I gonna put over here? I have completely neglected the fact that some of this stuff needed to be set up. Okay, I wanted, let's see here. Got metal blocks, we've got gears going in there, we got planks going in there. Which isn't built yet, but it will be built. I didn't need more gears over here. Do we do books? Maybe? I don't know. We could do books. Let's do that. So we'll go ahead and we'll get books in here. Let's see. I need small storage for all 3 of these, which means probably some sort of overhang system, like a triple overhang system right here. And then probably a path right here, or a whatever it's called, a platform right there. That's enough for 1, 2, and then we need a third one as well. So that can go third one right here, I guess. Then that's going to be a path right there and right there. And that means we can put in medium warehouses for all of our bot parts, which will be helpful. That also means that we need to tell you guys what to make: bot chassis, bot limbs, and bot heads. Now we can't make the bot chassis because we don't have the refineries unlocked, if I recall correctly, which is right here, which means that you go right there. We unlock you for the 400 science, and then we come over here and we also unlock the bot assembler. Now I did want to put this on top of over here, but this will work for now. We'll accept that. We'll get to 3 times speed where we belong and let that take its time. They can work on that. And the other project that I had in mind was actually getting into here and working on all of this. So that means coming in here, grabbing our beautiful double platforms, not doing 2 of those because that's unnecessary. And I want to punch through with our tunnels this way until we can get over, and I think over here is where we need to be-ish. So let's go ahead and grab this button. Let's pause that one just so we can get an idea as where we're at. So we need to come over 1, 2, 3 more, and then we could just punch that up and connect that in right there. That would connect us to the entire network, which is totally acceptable. And that means this one. And we should be able to delete these couple right there. And we'll just go back up, triple check that that is correct. Now, theoretically, we shouldn't. We will, but that shouldn't cause a problem. Because none... if bad water does come down in here, it's just going to spill out through here anyway. Which honestly, I don't think it would produce any more power for us, so it might be not worth the squeeze. But it will be something... we could, if I recall correctly, cap this off just so that water doesn't actually run out. And we... because there is a way to put... power systems underneath these guys, and that should feed up. And if we put another power system on top of there, that I think that's supposed to feed... Hello, it's Future Shadow here. Past Shadow's a goober and forgot that you can just put the impermeable flooring on the power shafts themselves. They are platforms in of themselves when you're using the vertical power shafts. So there you go. That's how you're supposed to do it. Past Shadow's a goober who's forgotten how to do those things. All right, back to past me. Bye. How did we do this in the past? So I've fed power through these, but that's also before they made the transition over to the morphable power shafts. I'm not entirely sure if that is still a thing. And yeah, that would be awful if I couldn't prove that. How do I prove that? Connect it to a power supply system over here and then see what happens. I distinctly remember running power through platforms with impermeable flooring on it in the past, especially when we were on the what is it called? When we were doing the Helix Mountain. When we did Helix Mountain, we were able to actually get that accomplished. Why haven't we touched this? We can give this all regular priority, and that can work out over there. Yeah, I did want to actually rip this out too. So, one last check for everything in here. Good water comes out here, and it just fills in this entire area. The bad tide diversion systems are back here now. There is no other requirement for us to have this system in place anymore. That is good. That is fine. So that means that we can come in here and we can play with this. Make a big mess by ripping all of this out like this. As long as we don't go too far back and cause any more problems and accidentally rip those out back there, then we should be Gucci. We're Gucci. That means we can hit the rest of this like such as, and hit the rest of this. No, I don't want to tear out that path down there. And that should be good. We don't need that anymore, so we could rip that out. We don't need that anymore, so that's gone. We don't need any of this anymore, so all this is gone. Look at that. Now, we will want to get down here to actually recoup all of these goods, because that's a lot of material down there that would be quite nice for us. And just as planned, any extra will flow off this side and then backfill into here, which then will go back into here. So no issues there, no consternation, no problem, yada yada, blah blah blah. That's awesome. That's fantastic. I love it. Long time. Now we just need a way to get down there to clean the rest of that up, which is quite simple. We just grab this, we add a station, we click on that button. Now they have access to all of that, and if we want it to be nice, we could do something silly, like maybe play with a little bit of explosives right here, and if we block their access points to go anywhere else, then theoretically it should go the way that we want it to go, which should be to the right. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know. We hit that button, we hit that button, we hit that button, and that should not go back, and of course it did. Okay, we're gonna play hopscotch with some explosives. Okay. Boosh. Now that fills in that little area. That means that we can not tear that out yet. Let's go ahead and place all this right here, and then we should be able to just punt that all into a singular corner right into there, and they should be able to reach that. And if we wanted to do something a little bit silly, we do like that, and then we rip all the rest of these explosives out. That's a ridiculous and unnecessary exploit, but it's a ridiculous and unnecessary exploit that lets you maneuver materials around that you would like to rescue. Which, this is a lot of material that I would like to rescue, because that's a lot of lumber down here. And if you look up here, we're not doing that great on the lumber side, okay? We're not doing that great. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll grab this. Fill these holes in, and then we can do something like that. Then we do something like this and something like that. And that means that we are well within reach of all of the things. And then we just grab our demolition tool. We rip out the remainder of these explosives that are unnecessary to be in here, making sure we don't cause a mess right there, and then we're good. We've got a nice clean line of material other than that we can actually play with and pull down and do all the things. Now, this is going in. They just need to get over here, finish building the rest of this, so that'll be Gucci. What else are our builders doing right now? That is a good question. I don't know the answer to that question because it's been a minute since I have actually played this map. Maybe they're in here doing this. No, they're not doing that. Okay. Are they over here doing this? They are over here doing this. Now we can help out with the build over here by doing something like this real quick. By putting in metal blocks, planks, and somehow finagling logs into this whole shenaniganery. And by giving that a slight priority bump for our haulers to do all the things to obtain as well as to get built real quick, then that should mean that all this material gets over. These builders can get this knocked out in a relatively quick fashion, and then that should be good. Maybe a max priority just because I feel like I want to click on the max priority button. Anyway, I digress there. They have this access point down there to go and take care of that. That is in place. That is in position. I need to give them a wait down here to finish building the rest of that power connection system, which means doing something along these lines and then just connecting that up right there. Now, I do want to get over here and I want to get rid of this zipline station. This zipline station is a tad bit unnecessary, and I want to make this a bit more of a streamlined entry into this area. That I don't know if that'll actually make their lives that much easier, but if you cut the corner, you save yourself some time, theoretically. At least that's my decision making or thought process behind why I would like to do that. That all being said, I do want to start planning out how we want to tackle this. Now, I don't think if we went in here and did anything like that, then we wouldn't be able to do anything there. You can't really put another zipline station right here. Why don't you do... You're already double connected. You're... Choices. Everybody's got choices. Could come in here and do something ridiculous, which I'm always a fan of doing. I like doing ridiculous things, so maybe we do a ridiculous thing. The question is, how do we actually dig into there? I don't know the answer to that question. I do not know the answer to that question. Let's see here. I could tear out our sunflower seeds and then start digging my way in. Yeah, let's do that. And I just want to confirm the height. So let's come over here. They can't reach any of this. So are they the same height? They are. Okay, so that's good to know. So I just need to get in here, tell them to stop planting these for me for now. Once that is taken care of, we can, or once these get pulled out here in a day or so, we'll get any of that taken care of, and that will be good. Did they finish building this? They did. Let's get these prioritized by haulers so they can bring some of this stuff over, making their life a little bit easier in the production or the building of all this, which will be nice and Gucci for them. That'll be amazing and make things look cooler. Another thing that I wanted to do is probably expand a little bit of our industry storage over here for things like explosives, which we've got stored somewhere else. Paper's got storage already right here. Maybe we don't need to do any more industry storage on this end. It wouldn't be bad, but it wouldn't be entirely necessary. It is a choice. It is a quandary. Anyway, I want to do something like this, though, and rip this all down like that. If I am not mistaken, this should allow us to basically blast this out and then delete that, which should remove this pillar, which would give us a nice piece of real estate to work with. And I don't think that's the elevation I would like to be at. So let's go ahead and rip all of that out. Yes. Yes. And we'll put that on the height that we want it to be, which is that height right here, right there. And then we can go ahead and do the same thing over here. And then on top of that, we can come over here and put in terrain blocks right here. Nope, not there. Put terrain in right here. That's not how that was supposed to go. Fill all of this in, and we'll fill all of that in. And we'll have to get in here, rip out the rest of these trees, which will take a little bit of time, but that should not be too much of an issue. Now, I could do this a bit smarter. This side, probably not be able to do that too much smarter, but this side, maybe. I don't know. This is a major project that I'm not too concerned about getting it accomplished in quite the most timely of fashions. Now, this is popping in, though, so that means we can start thinking about this project. I can't place a path in here, can I? I cannot. So that means that we're going to have to bring this down. And I want to go ahead and hit this button out to here. And then I want to probably not go that far. So something like that. And then we come into here. We pull the tunnel out again and we come across. I don't know why it keeps doing that left and right thing, but that's okay. And that means we get to come in here, delete that one, and then delete that one, and then we shouldn't need... Yeah, we will have to blast that out. So that's going to have to be a double or a triple underneath there. Okay, a double underneath there. Is that the right elevation? And then a double, and then a double or a triple there. And then a double, and then a triple here. Which means we can, in turn, run the rest of this tunnel like such as. Then we come through and we do the same thing on the other side. By lining this up, making sure that this is appropriately lined up. It should be. That's going to have to be a double in here, I'm sure. And then we do more tunneling. That gives us an outlet on that end. Now, as far as making things a bit easier for building purposes, go ahead and just do something like this. We'll run a path through there, and we'll have to come back through and tear that path out at some point in the future. But I have an idea as to how this is going to work. So, I'm going to come in here. We're going to blast this entire path out. We're going to come across, and we'll put a connection point in here. So, I saw an interesting way to make a 4-point entry and exit procedure or thing. So we do that right in this path, this corridor right here. So this one would connect to the left side, and then if beavers need to go through into the other one to go out this way, then they go out that way. If they would like to continue to go that way, then they go out that way, right? This lets us create an actual split in this pathway. And I think that would be the most, that would be the simplest way of going about doing those things. I'm not entirely sure if that's a true statement or not, but I'm going to pretend that it is. Now... we can do spatterdock since we have much more spatterdock floating around. Go ahead and tack in a couple of these. I think we can rip that out. There's no need for that dirt to be there. Put this in right here. Put in 2 large storage tanks for our biofuel, which is going to be necessary for our bots, which we haven't been able to produce yet because, again, biofuel is non-existent and we don't have bot assembler built yet, which is going to take a few more planks. It's going to take a few more metal blocks and a few of our gears, which have been kind of being neglected for reasons. Now, where are the rest of our builders at? They are probably coming down into here, and they're going to start building this now, which is going to be a Gucci. I think. I hope. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. They have started to put some of these stairs in, so that'll be nice. That'll take a little bit of them to do the things, and I would like to actually take advantage of the fact that we still have 12 beavers doing nothing. So we're going to put in another hauling post, and we're going to put in another builder's hut back in here, just because we have the beavers available to us right now. And we're just going to plus this up to 7 or leave it at 5, drop the priority, oh, not construction priority, that priority, and drop the workplace priority for those guys. And that means our builder should come over here, slap those together real quick for us, and then I'll get a few more of our stuff. That's a little bit more of our stuff moving about the cabin a bit more efficiently. And they finished this. So that is glorious. It also means we can turn off the priority on this so our haulers don't have to keep moving stuff over here. Now, I do want to finish filling in the rest of this area back in here, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to do that now or if I want to do that later, because I kind of want to finish tackling this project in here while I've been thinking about it. Means we do something like this all the way up into here. Put that in. We grab our path. Run that right there. Why is this one sunflower seedling in our way? It's in the way. I need it to not be in the way. Okay, we'll figure it out. Things will get done eventually. Now this little pathway plan dealy bob that I've got going on in here. It's going to require us to blast down a little bit, which is okay. You know, I'm okay with a little blasting, you know. Solo shot first or blasted first, but that's a different discussion, different story. We're not going to get into that, okay? We're not going to get into that. Yeah. Sweet. That's going. Those should have gone in now. We've got a few more beavers to get into hauling positions. We have a bunch of injuries, which should be mitigated soon. So we have our first bot in production, which means our bot chassis are moving and grooving. Productivity is not the greatest, but it is doing the things. I would also like to... Did I make sure to have planks and gears set? Okay, so I want obtain selected here, and I want obtain selected here. Theoretically, these guys should be producing that stuff right across the street. There shouldn't be an issue for that. And maybe we do something to finish the connection on this side so that things can get accomplished like that. And you guys are actually going down there to pick all of that up. Is that how bored you are? I'm down for it. But we have our first bot. And that means that we get to put our first bot into a position right here. So we can have bots making bots. Timberbot 01, welcome to the family. When you're here, you're family, darn it. At least that's what I tell myself to help me sleep at night. Anyway, we can go ahead and start tacking these in at least a little bit. We'll drop these priority-wise. I want them to be accomplished when available and not at the earliest convenience. It's really not much of an issue. Get these done yet, and soon we'll expand this way, blast some more of this out. I do still need to get in here and fill this hole in, because that's going to cause an issue for us, I think. Potentially. So, how do we go about doing that? Let's drop this priority-wise. They've already put one in. Jeez Louise. They are moving and grooving. And they are already up here. We want our path in now. Please and thank you. So that's good. That's Gucci. That's really nice. That's what we want to see. And now I want to give them a preemptive way to get up and over here so we can start clearing some of this out. Means doing something like that. Grabbing this, pulling that through, and we can actually put a couple of these bad Johnnies in right here. That should reach the majority of that stuff there. We can go ahead and give this a chop selection. And preemptively just select all this to be chopped, honestly. I kind of want to come in and fill this layer up a tad bit, or we don't have to. I'm okay with it not being filled up, honestly, but I do want to fill in the rest of this a little bit right there. And then we'll do floodgates, or we could do levees with dams. I feel like levees with dams are okay since we're controlled in the water production and everything along those lines. So I do want to give this a priority so that this can get taken care of, because that will give us plenty of things for our guys to do. We'll plus up there. Our drought is over, so that is cool. We barely touched any of this or finished taking out all of this. It helps that we're maxed out on water. Now, the problem with the folktales is the bots require water to make the biofuel. Water for the biofuel means we basically have to pull as much water for these guys as we would for the folktales, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I'm sorry, I thought I had a sneeze there. Apparently not. Okay, that's in. That means that we can get over here, give this a max priority. We've got a few beavers running about. We do have a spare bot running about now, so we can make our next transition over to those guys. Let's actually... Oh, we already made the bot limbs. The bots, timber bots are in. The bots are doing the bot things. These guys are going to come in here. They're going to start ripping all of this out, which is going to be glorious. It's going to be great. It's going to be huge. Now the question is, how is this coming along in here? So we got to pull this down. I feel like some of the explosions have already gone off. Great. We do need to give them a path back into here so that they can continue making their way across. Now they can't reach that, which is acceptable and understandable. That means that they've already started putting that in a better position. They have already ripped into those logs right there, so that's going to be great. That's going to... Where did all of our logs go? Oh my goodness. Did this eat up all of our logs? I could have sworn we had more logs. Oh my goodness. All right, well, I did want to put in a forester over here just for those last few pieces anyway. So we might as well just go ahead and do that then, huh? You know, why not? So this goes right here. It doesn't fit. Of course it doesn't fit. Oh. How much? About 10 days left on that. 10 days left on that. That's fine. I think we'll be fine for now, because this should all start popping up. Never mind, that's got 20 days left. 20 days left. This is all chestnut, but this is all full. We just need to get somebody over to help chop that down, which means getting another lumberjack flag in there, which I believe I've ripped those out to fit in more of these builders' huts and everything. But I digress. We'll give this a max construction priority. Get that finalized. in there. We've got some over here that need to be taken care of a little bit. We can take this out now since that is no longer a requirement and put in another lumberjack flag right there. That does reach a portion of that, so that'll be quasi helpful. Are you even doing anything, Mr. Dr. Bean? Are you worthless to us? You're kind of helping out over here. That's fine. You're covering down all that. You're doing all of that. All right. I can probably tear this out since this hasn't been full in a hot minute because there's no need for that to be full, but we don't have anything really for them to be pulling out anyway. So that's okay. I like it. I like where we're at a lot. Things are doing fantastically. Now, I do need to check to make sure that we're not dumping water out. We are not. That's good. That means this is filling in, which is good. This is theoretically filling in as well. Just go over the... Yep. It's filling in. Awesome. And... yeah. Next couple of bots, though, I want to come over here and I want to replace these positions in here that are quite detrimental to our beaver livelihood. So I think we might even go ahead and just swap this over. We're doing really fine on bad water. We've got 4.4 thousand units of it. There's zero requirement for us to be eating into that. I will pull that down. And then we will pull this back up, and that means that we should probably put in some sort of tank over here to provide our bots that are going to be working in there with the materials that are going to be necessary for their continued existence. So things like biofuel and things like catalyst, but we're not going to touch catalyst for a minute. Which catalyst is expensive, and we don't have the maple syrup capacity and build functionality to get that going in a timely fashion. But they are making their way through this quite nicely. And I do want to get over here and provide them with a place to store all of their dirt, because this is going to require them to do a little bit of finagling. You are done. You've got a few more left down there. I will give you guys a path under and over, and then we can grab this button, and then they've already started working their way through that. Heck yeah, let's go. That is awesome. We can also give them a path under and over that. That means just ripping that across, that down there, that down there. And then we can also put in some more lumberjack flags on this side. And we also need a set of... we don't need a set of stairs. You can already reach all that. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, can you reach that one? You can. Great. Now I just need the builders to come over here and finish the rest of that. Now I do want to check on how this is coming along. They've stopped because they can't reach any further, which means that needs to go. Then we come in here. We check out this path, which has also stopped because they can't reach any further, which is fine. 3 beavers with nothing to do within range. 2 more. 1 more. That's kind of stinky. Do have a couple beavers with nothing to do, so we'll put them into those positions and unpause that to help out a tad bit. And I think we had... do I not have enough places for all my beavers to hang out if they're injured? I thought we did. Apparently we don't. We'll give this a max priority just so that we can get them in there. And I feel like I should have places for them to fix their teeth over here, but apparently I do not. So teeth grindstone right there. And somehow fit a teeth grindstone in here. Probably not going to happen. Chestnuts are being picked up by somebody. I don't know whom. Probably you. So maybe we rip you out of here and we put another teeth grindstone right there. Put that around. It gives them access. We need to produce more cattail crackers, apparently. I think that means that we need to produce some more cattail flour? Nope. Cattail flour's fine. Just need more places to cook the cattail flour into stuffs. So maybe that means more bakeries. I think the same thing can't be said about that, so we will just go ahead and blast this out. I'll just blast those out. All of that. We'll put in another 2 bakeries just because we can. We've got a couple beavers running around with nothing to do with their hands anyway. Might as well put them to work somewhere, you know? We don't have any more bots rolling in. You are bored, so you're fired. The beavers have one last construction piece to do over here. Just making sure I'm not blitzing through all of our extract, which we're not. Should be able to reach that. I don't know why they haven't come over and slapped that yet. Once that's gone, we can... I think they've actually reduced it a fair portion already. So, actually, let's pause that. We don't need... So let's just rip that out. That's gone. And we just put one of these on there. And there you go. That's much cheaper than putting extract and planks into that thing when we just need to blast it down like that. All right, but we do have 1 beaver floating around. That's 10,000. I forgot how expensive that was. Okay, it's fine. It's 4 grand. I'd rather put them in there because that's more... I don't know if that is more painful to our beavers. I don't know. Either way, you're going to be able to work many, many hours by yourself, but we also would like to give you some juice because that's what a good provider does for his beaverlings, you know. And then extract, then we'll hit the obtain button on both of those. I do need to come over here and hit the supply button on both of these so that that can be accomplished. I do want to swap these guys out in the future because that is going to be a limiting factor in all of our production in due time. And we don't want to deal with that issue. All right, let's go ahead and check on this. There is our drought. I love the fact that we're in a position where we don't have to be too concerned about droughts when they pop in or out. We're doing good on water. We're doing fantastic on food. We're doing fine on beaver population. We haven't exceeded our capacity. So that is good. I do want to put that in right there. And I do want them to put that in as well. So we can start clearing out the rest of all of this. And I also think I need to come over here and place this in right here. And I think we need to put that in right there. No, 1 higher. That needs to be that. And that needs to be a 2fer on an old bad Johnny like such as. I still want to come over here and cap this off at some point, because that's what a good person does. But alas, we're not quite there yet. Okay, we do have a beaver. That means that you can go in there and do great things for us, producing your future brethren. And the next bot that gets produced by Timberborn 07 will automatically backfill into that position unless they come over here and take up this position. But they shouldn't, because that's got 1 set. This has 2 set. And then here in about, call it 24 hours, we'll have another bot to fill in that position right there. It'll be great. It'll be huge. It'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. All right. I do need to put in a couple things of storage for dirt over here. Means doing something like this. because this is going to take up a lot of dirt to fill in the rest of this down here. I will give this a priority bump, get that accomplished, and that will then turn into an obtain button selection for all of those. So our haulers, which we have, well, we're going to have to create 12 more of because we've got a few more positions that are being underutilized right now. Need to be doing something with their hands. And right now, they're not doing anything with their hands. I do want to come in here and pump all this out, because I feel like that's a good thing to do. Are we all occupying beds? I think we're all occupying beds. I think. Which is a good thing. Should keep our beavers nice, happy, and healthy. Don't have unhappy beavers. It's just sad. You have unhappy beavers, alright? Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and tack this in right there. I do want to actually have this on a double. Means we go out like this. Then we go out like that. And then we do something like this. No. How do I want to do this? Okay. Maybe something like a single here. Is that underneath? It should be. Let me do something like that. Something like this. And then something like that. Is this excessive? Probably. I'm trying to save as much material as possible, but I don't know if this is really doing that much. I feel like it might be. I don't know. I could be wrong. Would 7 be better? Or 6? 6. Would that be beneficial in any way, fashion, shape, or form? I doubt. So I'm not going to press the test. All right. Let's see about where we can start putting in more of our beavers. I feel like they're being a tad bit underutilized. We can blast that out. I don't think you're necessary anymore there, bud. Because we keep this filled in perpetuity with this and with this, right? Like there's zero requirement for any of that to be a thing. Honestly, I don't even know if this is even necessary down here. It is pumping water from the main reservoir, which is actually quite helpful. But you guys are not really in the most advantageous position as far as the maneuvering of goods throughout the cabin from there. But that's fine. That's okay. They haven't touched this because they've been working on this, because I think I gave this a priority. No, I did not give that a priority. They are working that though, so that is good to see. Our haulers are bringing dirt over, so that is even better to see. So that means that is going to provide us with copious amounts of dirt to start filling the rest of this in. And I feel like they're just working extremely slow. I feel like we're not at 3 times speed for some strange reason. I don't know. I don't know. We're at 36. How do we make them happier? Maybe provide them with more places to hang out. We haven't unlocked the carousel yet. How is this coming along back in here, actually? Because this is another one of the projects that I would like to get accomplished at some point. The question is, do we blast out a layer above us or below us? Run the power over and up. Maybe below. by 1. Maybe that's the answer. So I want to, because the power is already on this level, and I just want it to run it across here. I don't even remember where that pause button is. Okay, so I need to make 3 more. Maybe 1 more? I don't know. I don't know. Can I place this like this? No. I can't place it like that. So I'll wait until I get the rest of that in, and that will give us something to work on in the future. Great. We still have we have another bot with nothing to do with their hands. I believe that we are over here still in these positions, so we'll go ahead and plus that up a little bit. Let's check out, actually, I want to plus this up. So you put minus down to 2 or to 1. We'll get more in here, so let's get more bots moving, because we're running into a scrap metal issue. We have plenty of sparkly planks in and about. We could even put, I don't think that's necessary since they've got access up here. Yeah, I think that's fine. And they've got plenty of biofuel available for them. How are we doing on the spatterdock? Because we are consuming spatterdock and potatoes for biofuel, and it looks like we've caught up and kept up with the demand there. I did see that we have a couple stung beavers. It seems to be still a true statement. I think that this one right here is actually stinging our beavers that are working in this. So I'm going to take that out and see if our stung status goes away, and probably even take this out as well. Because I think the aquatic farmhouse guys, they don't have the innate protection like the efficient farmhouse guys do to our beehives. I could be wrong. It's a 100% possibility. But it is a theory, and I will run with that theory until I'm proven wrong, I suppose. Okay, I do want to check on this. This is nearing completion. I want to get over here and click on these buttons, though. I just want this done, so we can get those in and out. Don't know why it's taken this long. I guess because they have to go back and forth to get all the material. I know exactly why. So let's go ahead and we'll give this a priority. If we get this in, then that means that we can do all of this building a little bit more quickly. Don't know why you guys have started working on dirt as opposed to this system over here. Come on, last one. Last one. Give it a good smack. And that should be all of it. It is. So we can come in here. We can click this button. We can grab this and rip and tear. And now that's gone. And now that's gone. And now we have a nice flat piece of real estate to work with. And we just need to get them in here to finish tearing out the rest of these trees. Why do you not have... Okay, you do. Disregard. You do have access to all that. Okay, cool. And that means we can also put in the rest of this dirt back in here after they finish clearing up the rest of that. Cool. Explosions should be abounding in here. They are not. Why aren't they abounding? Let's drop this priority-wise. Priority dropped. That'll get accomplished when I want it to get accomplished. I want the explosions to be done over here. And this is actually taking a POSX too. Why are we taking a POSX? Pull that back up by 1. No. Are they putting that in now? I want you guys to put... Why aren't you doing this? Okay. I'd rather you guys be viewing that than the other portion of that, but I'd also rather you guys be in here finalizing all of this so that we can get our tunnel of tunneliness going in here. Now, I believe that we're going to have to probably disconnect this for a minute, which means I shouldn't have torn this out. Because that's a way for us to get in and out. I'm gonna have to put explosives in here. And I don't believe they'll let me put them under here. You will not. Do not allow me to put them under there. You won't even let me put them in here. It's probably because I have platforms there. Which makes sense. If we were to grab these platforms and rip them all out and recoup all of our losses. And hopefully we didn't just tear out our path, which we didn't, which is good. Just reconnect all that just to make sure. I do, however, want to get into here. Get into here. I believe it's a 2x3, right? Go ahead and look at this. Yes, it's a 2x3. Cool. That means I want these to also be prioritized. Theoretically, should not take that long. Maybe if I help them out by giving them a little bit of the material a little bit closer to home, it might make their lives a little bit easier. Or to the work area. Don't know if that's a true statement or not. Can I put these in right here? I can. Okay. So let's go ahead. That and that. We need blanks. We need not that one there. We want explosives. That button and I guess extract we can put in right here. This is absolutely 1000% unnecessary. Because I don't know if it's going to provide in any way much assistance. But if it helps out even a little bit, then I'll take it as a win, right? Maybe. I'm Ron Burgundy. I don't know. I really need to stop making that joke. That joke is old news. The oldest of news. But that's cool. That's all cleared out. We don't have to climb up on top of any of that anymore. Now we have you guys blurred. And you are also blurred. Last bit of trees over there have been cleared out. That's fantastic. That's glorious. That's amazing. We are going to take our sweet time cutting through the remainder of this, it seems. They have blasted all this out, though, so that is good to see. I do want to rip this out. I think what we need to do is put in triple dynamite right here. And then we can put in our... Oh, no! I did an uh-oh. I did an uh-oh. Okay, let's not do that. Did an uh-oh. This is where I need that to go. Right? Yes. And that means that we'll give that a priority bump. Yeah. Yeah. And we do something like this, and then like that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. They are slowly making their way through there. I do want to turn you on to the obtain button. Prioritize. Prioritize obtain. And then prioritize obtain. Probably not going to help out the least bit, but it makes me feel better to think that I'm taking advantage of the positions that are being filled by our beavers. I do want to fill this in one at a time. I don't want to hit all... Well, do I need to do that? I don't need to do that. I don't know. I do need to blast this down, though. So that means I am going to have to cut this across. Okay. Back up here. Let's just reinstall this. That should reach that and that. Add to there. And then you should allow me to connect to there when I'm ready. Yeah. All right. So let's give that a bump. But I want to disconnect their ability to do the things on that side. We do have a spare bot floating around doing nothing. How are we doing on scrap metal? Not well. So we're going to plus you up in here. Productivity's still doing decent, but we're still not meeting the scrap demand. We are blitzing through it pretty fast with the metal block production, which is okay, but I don't want to be running into a problem with all of that. I do also want to look at this. How much of this have they cleared up? Not much. A little bit. They cleared up a little bit. Just totally acceptable. That's going in. That should get smacked here and get completed. 3, 2, 1, boom. That's good, which means we can disconnect that pylon connection and then add this connection up to here, which provides us with all of that connection there. Hopefully we didn't get any beavers stuck somewhere. We've got another timber bot that got created. Let's go ahead and plus this up. We'll just max this out with timber bots. I want to make sure that we're producing scrap as efficiently as beaverly possible. We can preemptively, though, come over here and grab this button, grab that, put this in, so we can start building that. I don't think we need those stairs. If and when there is a spare beaver that's not doing one of our many major projects that will give them something to do back there, they have made it to that point, so that is good. That means that we can rip that out. I don't think that we have anything else in here. Do need to give them stair or a path to connect all that. We'll connect that to there. And that means that they can finish building the rest of that. And that means that I want to give them a way to work around, like such as, maybe that's a cool idea. So we can blast this down. Well, yeah, no, yeah. But this doesn't need to be connected right now. Go away. It also means that we can put this in right here. And that means that we don't need that in there or that in there. It means we can put this in right here so they can continue to work their way through. Give this a slight priority bump. And probably drop this to regular priority for a second. And come over here and check on this. They have made some pretty good progress over here. I do want to just finish the rest. Fill the rest of this in like that. And then we can just grab this path button, pull that across there, and we can unpause that. Now, that means that we can actually pause that again and place our explosives right here. And then run our power to vertical power shaft button right there. Click this button right there, that button right there, and then we click that. Unpause, and that should be where that needs to go. Allegedly. It did start building that, so that's cool. That'll give us a little bit more water storage. That'll be great. We do need to double our water storage since we're doubling our beaver population with bots. scrap is still not in the greatest position. Again, it's being eaten as fast as it's being ripped out. Do we have any more ruins? There's one. There's two. That's 5,000 miles away. I think that's it, right? Uh-huh. I could get over there, take advantage of that. I don't want to. It would be the smart thing to do, but I've never claimed to be the smart one. Aha. Where were we building it? I am so turned around on this map right now. You have no idea how confused I am. All right. Uh-huh. This is it. Okay. This is what I was trying to find. Why couldn't I find it? I don't know why. Don't know why. I do know why. I'm ridiculous. Now, the question is... does this cause a problem? Will this fit? Allegedly. And we add this connection here. That connection there. Right? Yep, those are connected. Now we have those two facing each other. And when we rip this path out, we should be able to grab this and look to see if we can put this in line somewhere, or if I'm going to have to blast down in here somewhere, which we might have to do just to ensure that, you know what, we might as well just go ahead and put that in. So let's call it here. I feel like that's a fair spot to put it without too much consternation. How are we doing on all this? We're not. Is it because we can't build that? It is. So that means we need to give them access to that so they can do that. Otherwise, that's going to take another 40 years to accomplish, and I'd like it to be accomplished yesteryear. All right? They are already building that, though, so that's pretty neat. And that should be already almost halfway built as well, so that's awesome, too. Our bot production is catching up with the demand for our places where we've been putting them, so that it's good to see. How is this coming along over here? This is done. That is in. And now we go boom. And we can already see the bottom. That is fan-freaking-tastic. Now we come down to here. We grab these two because I did the dumb. And instead of putting them on two singles so I can actually path our power system underneath, I didn't do that. So we're just going to have to do this. And that comes across like that. We put our buttons right there. That'll be good. We reconnect all of this. And then we drop this down one more just to see where our power lines are at, which is back here. That goes to that position right now. Then we go up. Oh, hello? What? Did I miss it by one? Oh, I did miss it by one. That needs to have one more piece of explosive in there. Okay, that's simple. Yeah. Then we'll run the power lines up, and then we get to see the fruits of that labor, and it'll be great. It'll be glorious. It'll be amazing. Let's check out this, how it's going. They got up into there. They did build that. That is in. Those are built. That's connected. Now we can disconnect this monstrosity up here, and then disconnect this monstrosity. Hello? delete, connect to you. Means all of that runs right in through there. And then we probably need to get another pylon in here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where that needs to go. And maybe I could make their lives a little bit easier by getting them connected up through here. I don't know. It's yellow to red here, or it's not. I don't know. But either way, it's making progress, and I think I'm happy about that. I'm happy about the progress that we're making. And I hope that you guys are happy about the progress that we're making, because I'm pretty stoked about, well, some of the ridiculous things that we're doing. This is done, so that's beautiful. We've got so much water storage in here. It's glorious. We're expanding our capacity to produce goods by making a new flat workspace for ourselves over here, which reminds me I need to finish filling the rest of this in. Like that. We need to tell them to not use that anymore. They're going to use that and probably get themselves stuck. I'm just going to have them rip that out before it becomes a problem. And then bada bing, bada boom. We've got a nice piece of real estate reclaimed to be turned green and beautiful for us. Scrap metal's moving in the positive direction. Food's still holding strong. Water's still doing fantastic. They did finish building the rest of this, which is really cool. And that makes me happy. That means we've got another 4 more spots for some more storage, which is the reason I built these. And of course, it's not long enough. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did the thing incorrectly. I can believe I did it. Okay, don't worry. We're going to expand it more. I am happy to see that this is coming along a bit nicer than originally anticipated. I really wish it would take a little less time to get in here. Finish the rest of this. It's taken 5,000 years to get this complete. Maybe if we came in from the other side, it'd go a little bit faster. I doubt it, but maybe. I don't know. A guy could dream. A guy can dream. We do have a spare bot now. That means that we could probably get you into dirt production, actually. Let's get you over here. Plus up on dirt production. We're not using it for anything else right now other than just storing it away. But if we can store it faster and harder and stronger, then that means that we get to build all of this faster and harder and stronger, which is going to be good. It's going to be good. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself so I could sleep at night, if you will. Where did all of our logs go? Where did all of the logs go? Where did all of the logs go? I don't know where they all went. Okay, there are some over here. I haven't been really using them for anything. So that's interesting. So I'm gonna cheese this a little bit so we can get some of these logs down here. Inaccessible. They have access to all that. Rip this all out because I don't want explosives in here. Beavers do ridiculous things like plant explosives unnecessarily because they're beavers and they do unnecessary things. We can rip that out and get some more logs. They should be able to reach that. Cannot be reached. Okay. Yeah. That's simple. Now they can be reached. Cool. Alright, let's unpause it. I am very curious as to what is consuming all of our logs right now. Like, I don't think you guys burn logs, right? We are burning it. We are making a metric poop ton of planks. Because I did increase our plank storage. That makes sense. And we're making gears. And okay. Never mind. Never mind. I think. I hope. I don't know. We'll get it figured out. We'll get it sorted. This entire area over here, the intent behind it is to make logs and do all of that fun stuff. But I want this to be done. I want it to be done. I want it to be done yesterday. Please finish this. Come on. Please. Please and thank you. I would appreciate you. All right. So I'm going to quit yapping now. And I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of this build montage as it's taking them a hot minute to finalize every little thing that I would like them to do. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please hit that like button. And if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, I would appreciate that as well. And we'll catch you all in the next episode of I don't know what to do with my hands other than make beavers do crazy things and explode things. You know, it's glorious. It's amazing. It makes me happy, and I hope it makes you happy. All right. We're going to finish the rest of this. We're going to get this all connected up. And it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be amazing. And it's going to be another tunnel of ziplinery. But I'll catch you all in the next episode of I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm out. See ya.